Yo, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades. It's been one heck of a day in Kenya. We saw uh, everything that transpired from the young folks that went to the streets. The goal was to occupy State House, as the hashtag suggests, Occupy State House 2025. There was what was expected, skirmishes between the protesters and the police. There was property damaged. There was looting by the police. And there was killings, carnage of some sort. Now, my question to you is, what do you make of it? From what I hear from the ground, I think the demonstrations was largely a success. Okay, even though the goal might not have been achieved, but the struggle continues. This is not over yet. Like I said, revolutions take time. It just doesn't happen one night, one day. Okay? The anger that have been shown by the Gen Zs and the young folks that were out there is something that has been in them for a while. It has been building up. So we can't say that this thing just came out today. Started yesterday. Okay? It was supposed to be a commemoration of the young folks who died last year, and also an attempt at occupying State House to remove these corrupt political elites and their mascot, their chief representative, who is none other than William Samoei Ruto. Now, before I give you my take, there's a narrative that is being drawn out of this that is more dangerous than anything else, in my humble opinion. The narrative that is being developed now, written, kind of being pushed on us, is that this was not Gen Z. This was a Kikuyu uprising. That seems to be what the general message from the state, Kasongo, and Githeri media. They are making this as a bunch of disgruntled, unemployed, exploited, manipulated youth that were used by the billionaires from Mount Kenya to carry out this protest. That seems to be the narrative that the Githeri media wants to kind of portray. It was first made public by the Azimio folks. And Raila today made that clear in the speech that he was giving somewhere, I don't know where. I don't know if it was his the funeral or whatever the case is, where he mentioned that Gachagua was behind this, and that it is Gachagua that is impatient, that does not want to wait till 2027, so he's causing all this chaos by using the youth causing them to go out there to cause all this mess. Now, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, the reason why I consider this a dangerous narrative is because it plays perfectly into the plans of these corrupt political elites, Kenyan elites. Because this is something that they will run with. This is a narrative that they will try to propagate. There will be a barrage of such propaganda. And when it's repeated plenty of times, as Hitler once said, if you lie constantly, repeatedly, and repeat the lie, very soon people will start believing the lie. And what, in effect, what will result from this is that Gachagua is going to be enormous in stature. He is going to be a political force to be reckoned with. He is going to be the Raila Odinga of Mount Kenya. Believe it or not, if this propaganda succeeds, if this narrative that they're writing, that they're propagating through the media outlets, if it succeeds, Gachagua shall be the face of the opposition. He will be the kingpin of Mount Kenya. I often refer to you guys to a speech once given, and that clip has been deleted on all social media, on any outlets that you can think, or any historical archive from the media. I mentioned that there was one time during Uhuru Kenyatta's rule, when he was the president, the illegitimate president he was drunk in his usual drunken stupor. He gave a speech saying, and I quote the little bit, the parts where he expressed how power shall be given, passed on after he becomes president. He was drunk somewhere in Mount Kenya, visibly, and he said, 10 years of my rule, 10 yangu, alafu 10 ya Ruto, then he said, then 10 ya Gacha, then he stopped himself. Because he remembered that he was not supposed to reveal who was supposed to take over from Ruto. It was Gachagua. I'll repeat, if anybody can find that clip, please dig into the archives, video files of NTV, KT, and all those media outlets. Find that clip. He said, 10 yangu, 10 ya Ruto, alafu 10 ya Gacha. Then he stopped himself because he was not supposed to reveal who was to come after Ruto. And ladies and gentlemen, like I usually say, always question everything. Be skeptical of every information that is put out there, what you see, what transpires, what comes out, how people react. Question everything. Why is it that the narrative is this was a Kikuyu uprising? Who stands to gain from this? Now listen to me. The demonstrations was not limited to only the people of Mount Kenya. Yes, you can argue that majority of the youth, the most passionate, the areas that were more passionately came out for this Mandamano was in the Central Province. We cannot deny that. Outside of Nairobi, and the proximity between Central and Nairobi is not that far. But I will not say that the protests were limited to just one tribe. There was a young man who was shot who happened to be from Luo Nyanza. Today he was shot during this Maandamano. All I'm saying is this. With every move, every pronouncement that's being made by this political class, there's a reason why they are pushing this narrative that this was not a Gen Z movement. This was not a Gen Z demonstration protest. That this was a Kikuyu uprising. And the catalyst behind this movement, this Kikuyu uprising, is Gachagua. Raila said it. The media is saying it. And they're running with it. Are you connecting the dots? Are you connecting the dots, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades? If you're going to watch this on repeat, leave a comment. Like, share, subscribe, do all the good stuff. I will let you marinate on that. Marinate on what I just said. I will give you my full analysis in my next live session, and I shall let you come in and give your view on it. I just want you to marinate on that. And we shall examine if this was a true Gen Z protest, or was this indeed a Kikuyu uprising? Or was it a blend or a mixture of the two? Currently, Rongai is in flames. We can hear gunshots, people being gunned down, the same thing that was happening to Durai before. But we shall talk about that in my next live tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades, do not miss. Like this video, share, subscribe, comment, and do all that good stuff. And catch me on my next live, where we shall take a deep dive into what really transpired today on Occupy State House 2025. I'll see you then, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and blessings.